But I'll go back to the 4-hour time frame to tell you where I'm going to be looking for buying opportunities into that 2790.209 area. So where I'll be buying will number one be here and number two down here. So what I'm saying basically is this: if I get a pullback and I get my confirmation here, it's going to be a short buy, right? Because this is our obvious target, my stop loss below, right? And if I fail to get a confirmation here, then price breaks below it, then I know that I'll wait for my confirmation here, which is 2740.647, and then stop loss below, take profit above. Welcome back, guys. You can see that in the open of last week, price broke below my initial buy zone, but when I saw this bullish engulfing candle back to the top, I took the trade. My stop loss was around here. Obviously, I lost the trade, right? And price continued low. I was like, okay, cool, maybe price will come and respect my second level. When I saw this other bearish candlestick broke below without giving me a confirmation, I was prepared to buy around 2725 area below here, because my bias going into next week was actually bullish. But thankfully, we can see there was a return right above my second buy area, but I felt like it was too early to buy. I waited for price to play out, then came back and retested this region. If you cannot see it, let me put this red line there. Retested that zone, gave this massive rejection with this bullish engulfing candlestick. So that was my cue to buy. I bought, and I took profit at our overall target. I was able to recoup my loss, right? Because I ended up making 3.25% on this trade. So that is that. Going into next week, what do we expect? Meanwhile, let me delete all of these zones and plot fresh zones. So going into next week, I'll go to the daily time frame. First of all, I'll go to the daily time frame. We can see that obviously we now have a new higher high. This is the previous high, higher low, new higher high. So I want to see price pull back into this region. All right. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the 4-hour time frame on gold, and then I'm going to move this upper red line to this zone below here. All right, so basically what I'll be expecting to see going into next week is something like this. I would like to see a pullback into this region. Let me go to the daily time frame and make sure this region, let me go back to the 4-hour time frame, make sure this region is visible on the daily. Go back to the daily. I'll drag this all the way down. Yes, so I'll go back to the 4-hour. Yes, so this is what my zone is going to look like. So I'm going to put this red line above, then I'm going to put another red line below. So I want to see price pull back within this region, into this region of 2785.610 and 2770.614 before we take off again for a nice 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1, depending on how tight your stop loss in from where you jump in. All right, but I'd like to see a pullback into this region before we take off again. So that is that on gold. Next on my list is DXY, because I like to use market structure to conduct my analysis. This is a new higher high, obviously higher than all these previous levels here. Higher low, new higher high, right? Technically, the price should bounce off from this zone. Welcome back, guys. So you can see how DXY came into our area and took off. So going into next week, by default, I am going to be bullish on DXY. By the way, happy new month, guys. It's a new month, right? And we should also be looking at how we close for the previous months. Now, if I go to the monthly time frame, I can see this dodgy candlestick, and price may be bearish this month, all right, but not after we go bullish initially. So I'll be bullish initially, but if price goes bearish at some points during this month, I won't be surprised. But I'll go with the weekly bias, right? So for the weekly bias, next week I'm expecting a bullish DXY. So I'll go to the daily time frame. My target is all the way here. I think the target is visible on the 4-hour time frame. Let me see. All right, it is not. I'll go back to the daily, and then I'm going to put a red line here, which is 110.168. That's my target on DXY before it decides to go bearish at some points within the month. Let me go back to the 4-hour time frame. Yeah, so on the 4-hour time frame, I have this zone of 108.398 and 108.239, which price has actually broken out of. So I would suggest that you wait for price to continue higher next week, maybe come into this area, then it's going to want to come for that pullback within these two zones, then that's where you want to look for buys. Then our target remains 110.168. All right, but what I'm talking about is going into next week, I am bullish. All right, going into next week, I am bullish on DXY. The next on my list is Euro USD. For the fact that we are trading inside of that resistance level now, I think for now I'm still expecting that this is just a mere pullback. This time I'm anticipating an initial bullish run before we now go bearish. I don't know if that's going to happen for a fact, but that's what I would like to see. Welcome back, guys. On the weekly time frame, you can see how price reacted to that zone, and we are pointing lower. So for now, I'm expecting to see price come in between these two areas of 1.02633 and 1.01873. I'd like to see price come into that area before anything else happens, because that's the next solid area of support that we have. But how do we take advantage of this? I'll go to the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, we now have a bearish price action, right? A bearish chart pattern, which is the head and shoulders pattern, right? We have the left shoulder, we have the head, and we have the right shoulder, and price is pointing lower. Now, if you don't believe in head and shoulders pattern, blah blah blah, then just stick with market structure. Market structure wise, this is a low, right? This is a low, a lower high, a new lower low. So even if we're going to pull back, I'll be looking for that pullback into anywhere here before we continue lower. Remember, my next target is 1.02633. All right. So two ways you can jump into this bearish trade is, number one, I'll put two lines here. Number one, wait for price to break below. Wait for price to break below the 1.03458 area, then catch it on the pullback, stop loss above, take profit below. All right. Another way you can take advantage of this is if you know how to do this, because this may not be accurate most of the time. So it depends on how you decide to take advantage of this, because I may put this zone above here, price will manipulate above it, but it really doesn't matter, right? The idea is still a sell, but just in case price pulls back from where it is now back into this area, then I get a good bearish confirmation, I could still sell from there. My target remains the same, which is 1.026.33. All right, but I think I would like you to go with the more conservative approach, which is to wait for price to break below 1.03458, wait for the retest, and then sell to the downside. All right, that's that on Euro USD. So basically, Euro USD next week, I am bearish. The next on my list is GBP USD. Price has come into our target on the weekly time frame. What I mean is, using market structure, you can see a low, a lower high, a new lower low. Now price has gone back into that zone. So now I'm anticipating a bearish move. So welcome back, guys. You can see how price played out. Price went back for that pullback and is beginning to point lower. So I'm expecting to see price fall back into the 1.21237 area. All right, 21237 area. That's where I'd like to see price fall back into, because going with market structure, just like I said from last week's video, you can see the low, the lower high, a new lower low. So the next lower high is being respected, as it is quite obvious based on how we closed with last week's candle, which is super bearish. So I expect that continuous drop to 1.21237 area. All right. So, but how do we take advantage of this? Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, meanwhile, I'll just delete all of these levels, delete all of these things, so that we can have a cleaner chart. So what's going to happen is I'm going to plot a zone around here. All right, so it depends on you. You have to be patient for this to play out. So I'll put two lines there so that we can confirm that price level. All right, which are the 1 point, why am I having two figures? Okay, 1.23968 area and 1.23653 area. So that's the area I'm going to be looking for price to break out of, right? Then you want to catch it on the pullback, stop loss above, take profit all the way down here. All right, which is 1.21237. All right, that's the more conservative way to jump into this trade. Give me a second. Let me see if we have. All right, yeah. So I think if price takes out this counter trend line, goes for a pullback, it's going to continue lower. I'm bearish going into next week anyway. So yeah, I'll just delete this. So yeah, this is what I would like to see play out. This is a more conservative way to take this trade. I'm bearish going into next week, and I would like to see price break below 1.23653 area and wait for the pullback before selling off on GBP USD. The next on my list is USDJPY. Now, USDJPY, if you've been following my analysis for the past couple of weeks, you will notice that we've not been able to place a trade since when price broke below here. Is it here or here? Yeah, I think somewhere around here, which is the 22nd of January. Price has been stocked in something that looks like a range. All right. So, but with me, for the fact that I am anticipating a bullish DXY, so I'll be anticipating a bullish USD JPY. All right. So going into next week, guys, I want to go with a more conservative approach. I'd like to go with a more conservative approach. So going into next week, guys, I would advise you to be patient for price to create a new higher high, because if you notice within this range, we're creating lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower high, equal low. Now price failed to create a new lower low. So I would like to see price go on to create a new higher high, breaking above this previous area. Then I'll catch it on the pullback. Then I can now trade to my targets, right? Which is 158.862 and 158.573. So that will be my target on USDJPY. So USDJPY going into next week, I am more bullish than bearish. But of course, if price continues lower, just like I've been talking about in my previous analysis within the past 2 weeks, if price continues lower from here and creates a new lower low, breaking out of this major support level here, then I will be bearish. I'll wait for a pullback, right? Stop loss above 154.664, then take profit at 151.394. All right, so those are my bullish and bearish scenarios on USDJPY. Then the last on my list for this week is GBPJPY. But just in case price decides to go crazy next week, I don't want to leave us high and dry. I'll wait for price to create a new lower low. There has to be a shift in market structure. Then I'll wait for pullback, and then I'll sell back into 189.947. Welcome back, guys. To be honest, I was super bullish on GBPJPY last week. That was my mindset. That was what I wanted to see happen. But remember, I also gave a bearish scenario, which actually played out. I said you should make sure you wait for a change in market structure. So this is where I didn't take this trade anyways, because I was so strong in my belief. I wasn't easily flexible that last week, but it is what it is, right? I will tell you where to get in this week, because I'll be bearish going into this week, or should I say next week. You get the point. So price was in a bullish trend, right? Higher high. Then I said in last week's video that wait for a change in market structure. This was an equal low here. So technically we are still in a bullish trend. Well, this was a lower high. We are still in that bullish trend. We don't know what price is planning to do. Then we had a higher low. We're still technically in a bullish trend. Do nothing. Lower high. This is the moment we got our lower low. Then the pullback into that previous market structure, then a bearish engulfing candlestick. That's your trigger. That's your entry. Stop loss above, then price continued lower. And as you can see, price still pulled back into the entry last week. So price is still trading around that entry. So it is still a go. It is still a go for me. So this is still a good sell area, but I would have loved to see maybe a little bit of manipulation back into these areas of 193.136 and 193.914, so that we can now sell from a very better area, stop loss above, then take profit all the way down here, which is 189.947. But we are well in our sell region. This is a go for me. It's a good sell trade. I don't know if it's going to play out, but that's my bias for now. Thanks for staying to the end of today's video. You know what to do if you want to take your trading to the next level. Our registration is still on. Make sure you enroll in any of our mentorship programs, and I will see you on the inside. I'll teach you how to execute, your mindset towards executing, everything you need to know to become a successful trader. We cover all of that. All right. Thanks for making it to the end of this video. Like, share, and leave a comment below if you have a different opinion. Of course, your opinions are always welcome in the comment section. That's if it's done constructively, not from a place of hate, and we'll appreciate that. I wish you a successful trading week, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye, guys.